Okay, students, so welcome. Sorry for the wait. As always, it takes me a while to load up. So welcome to this week's British and Irish Culture and History with Jamie. Okay, as you know, my name, you just call me Jamie. Okay, let's move on. So, okay, students, look at the following PowerPoint slides and try to guess what are the three inventions that are shown. Okay, so look at the following PPT slides and try to guess what are the three inventions that are being shown in this. And let's have a look now. Okay, so first we have a very old invention. What is it? Why would somebody have this? This is an old gentleman on some kind of bicycle, but it's not a normal bicycle. What would this bicycle be used for? Okay, have a think. That's invention one. This invention two, we've got somebody with a tie sticking something in his mouth. What is he sticking in his mouth and why? And this is obviously a more recent invention. And the third one, this is actually, I'll give you a hint, this is a woman's legs. Okay, and of course the woman's legs are not the invention, the hair is the invention. So have a look at these, have a look at this. What's this invention for? What's this invention for? And finally, what's that invention for? Okay, so have a look and have a think. What are they for? And do this and do it now, please. Okay, so first we have the amphibious bicycle. Amphibious just means it can float on water and it can work on land. Okay, so a frog is amphibious, and this is an amphibious bicycle. I'm not too sure it works, but there you go, amphibious bicycle. The second one, here we go, that is a drinking tie. Okay, so we've got a drinking tie, and this is to help. If you want to have a drink while you're at work, you can use this invention. Okay, so these are the Stop Sexual Harassment tights, stockings. Okay, because probably no man would really want to touch them legs. Okay, so the third invention is the Stop Sexual Harassment tights. They are called tights in British English. I think American English they're called stockings. Okay, so a little explanation of some British English there for you. Okay, so during a specific woman's era, the Industrial Revolution started in the UK and allowed the UK to invent many things, which led to it being the most powerful country in the world at one stage. So during today's topic, during a specific woman's era, the Industrial Revolution started in the UK and allowed the UK to invent many things, which led to it being the most powerful country in the world at one stage. So, okay students, if you look at the syllabus, you will see that today's class is the Victorian era and British cultural characteristics. So what do we mean by that? So if you look at the syllabus, you will see that today's class is the Victorian era and British cultural characteristics. Victorian era, what does this mean? Let's have a look. What do we mean when we say the British Victorian era? Have a think. So to find the answer, simply do this. Have a look at the photo of the woman on the next PPT slide and tell me, who is she and what do you know about her? So I want you to have a look at the photo of the woman on the next PPT slide and tell me, who is she and what do you know about her? Okay? So who is this woman? I'll give you some hints. She was, obviously she is dead, this was a very long time ago. She was a very, very rich and powerful woman. Okay? And she lived somewhere in London, and she was married to somebody from Germany. And yeah, that's the only hints I'm giving to you. So what do you know? Who is this woman? Okay, so the answer is Queen Victoria, and it's Queen Victoria of England. And this was a Queen of England, and she oversaw probably the time when the UK was maybe at its most powerful. Okay, Queen Victoria. So here we go. So today's lesson and today's British Irish heroine is both Queen Victoria to help you, okay? So there will be random test questions on Queen Victoria, and she will also have some questions in the British and Irish heroine. She is today's quiz questions, and she will also be the British and Irish heroine for today. So Queen Victoria. Part of the reason Queen Victoria was so popular was because the kings before her were terrible kings. King George III lost the American colonies and went mad before his death. What this means is King George III, the UK used to rule America, but then the American army defeated the British army and America became independent. This was during the time of King George III, and he went mad before his death, like Meechinum, okay, went crazy before his death. King George IV was greedy, behaved badly, and was very fat. Queen Victoria was born in 1819 and died in 1901. She was born to an English father called Prince Edward and a German mother called Prince Victoria. Okay, so Queen George IV was greedy, behaved badly, means he was terrible, and was very fat. Queen Victoria was born in 1819 and died in 1901, so she lived for a very long time. She was born to an English father called Prince Edward and a German mother called, Princess Victoria. Okay, so she became the queen, aged just 18, wow, after her three brothers died. This meant there was no sons left to be the next king. In the UK, if there are no sons, then the oldest daughter then becomes the queen. Okay, so as you know, the Queen has oldest son is Prince Charles, and if Prince Charles dies, then the next king would be the next oldest son. So that would be, I believe it's Prince Andrew. But it doesn't. It goes Prince Charles's children for the boys, okay? So aged just 18 after her three brothers died. This meant that there was no sons left to be the next king. And if in the UK, if there are no sons, then the oldest daughter then becomes the queen. She was raised by her mother, who did not let her play with other children, made her study every night, and was made to speak English, French, Latin, German and Italian. So her mother would not let her play with other children. Boo! And she made her study every night and was made to speak English, French, Latin, German and Italian. Oh, terrible. So, okay, students, look at the picture below and tell me what is its name. What is the name of this building? And it's a very famous building and it's in London. Somebody lives here. Who lives here? I'll give you a hint. It's not me. So, look at the picture below and tell me what is its name. Okay, students, so this is Buckingham Palace, and we're going to be looking at some interesting facts about Queen Victoria, okay, because Queen Victoria was the first queen to live in Buckingham Palace. Wow. Okay, so Queen Victoria became the first queen to live at Buckingham Palace, and she received 385,000 British pounds to live on, which is about 30,000 times my salary today. Terrible. Okay, she was given lots of money. Queen Victoria became the first queen to live at Buckingham Palace, and she received 385,000 British pounds to live on, which is about 30,000 times my salary today. Victoria was still not married, so had to live at Buckingham Palace. She hated her mother and made her mother live in an apartment in the corner of the palace. She then married Prince Albert of Germany in 1840. So Victoria was still not married, so had to live at Buckingham Palace. She hated her mother and made her live in an apartment in the corner of the palace. She then married Prince Albert of Germany in 1840. She really loved Albert, and he was a great husband to her. After she married Albert, she made her mother leave Buckingham Palace. She had a daughter called Victoria in 1840. Queen Victoria hated being pregnant and thought, so she really loved Albert, and he was a great husband to her. After she married Albert, she made her mother leave Buckingham Palace. She had a daughter called Victoria in 1840. Queen Victoria hated being pregnant and thought newborn babies were ugly. She thought newborn babies were ugly. She had another 7 children. In May 1842, a man called John Francis tried to kill her by shooting her, but the gun did not fire. The Queen then demanded that she travel the same road the next day and see if she thought newborn babies were ugly. She had another 7 children. In May 1842, a man called John Francis tried to kill her by shooting her, but the gun did not fire. The Queen then demanded that she travel the same road the next day and see if the man would try to kill her again. John Francis tried again the next day, but failed again. Then an Irishman named William Hamilton also tried to kill Queen Victoria, but also failed. So a man would try to kill her again. John Francis tried again the next day, but failed again. Then an Irishman named William Hamilton also tried to kill Queen Victoria, but also failed. Ginger. In 1845, Ireland had a potato famine, and the people starved to death. She was hated by the Republican people of Ireland because the British were taking food out of Ireland while the Irish were starving. So in 1845, Ireland had a potato famine and the people starved to death. She was hated by the Republican people of Ireland because the British were taking food out of Ireland while the Irish were starving. She was called the Famine Queen by the Irish Republicans, but she personally gave £2.5 million in today's money to help the Irish people. The Irish created a lie, that she actually gave £5, but on the same day gave £5 to a dog charity. She was called the Famine Queen by the Irish Republicans, but she personally gave £2.5 million in today's money to help the Irish people. The Irish created a lie that she actually gave £5, but on the same day gave £5 to a dog charity. Oh, terrible. She made peace with the French, which means France. She made peace with the French and also went to Ireland to show them that she cared about them. Her husband died in December 1861. Victoria was devastated and wore only black clothes for the rest of her life. Okay? So she did some really good things. She made peace with the French and also went to Ireland to show that she cared about them. Her husband died in December 1861. Victoria was devastated and wore only black clothes for the rest of her life. She stayed in the palace for 5 years and refused to go outside. She then gave half more men the right to vote, but was not in favour of allowing women to vote. The British Empire grew a lot during her power. Okay, so she stayed in the palace for 5 years and refused to go outside. She then gave half more men the right to vote, but was not in favour of allowing women to vote. The British Empire grew a lot during her power. Then, in 1887, Queen Victoria celebrated 50 years of being the Queen of England. But at the end of her life, she could hardly walk or see. She died aged 81. Okay, students, please study all about the information about Queen Victoria and make notes. Okay, so she celebrated 50 years of being the Queen of England, but at the end of her life, she could hardly walk or see. She died aged 81. And what I want you to do, students, is please study all the information about Queen Victoria and make notes. She will appear in the midterm examination. Okay? Now, because you probably know the midterm exam is online. It's going to be online. I am no longer putting PPTs onto the LMS system to reward hard-working students with the higher grades for this class. So please study all the first 5 test quizzes, weeks 2 to 6. Okay? So I am no longer putting PPTs onto the LMS system so that people who study harder will get the higher grades, of course. So please study all the first 5 test quizzes. Weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, which is today, and 6. And 5 test questions. There are 10 questions every week, times 5. That's 50 questions times 1 equals 50%. Simple. And then study random questions I will or could ask you on the female heroines. These will be weeks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Week 2, Boudica. Week 3, Queen Elizabeth II. Week 4, Adele. Week 5, Queen Victoria. And then we'll have Gabrielle Petit and Cecile Wetherington. Okay, so we've got them just there. Boudica, Queen Elizabeth II, Adele, Queen Victoria, and then I'm going to mix Gabrielle Petit and Cecile Wetherington. Okay? And there are 2 questions on each of these. 2 questions on Boudica, 2 questions on Elizabeth II, 2 questions on Adele, 2 questions on Queen Victoria, then 2 questions on next week's heroines, Gabrielle Petit and Cecile Wetherington. 12 times 2% equals 24% of your midterm exam. Okay? So I want you to study random questions I will or could ask you on the female heroines. Boudica, 2 questions. Queen Elizabeth II, 2 random questions. Adele, 2 random questions. Queen Victoria, 2 random questions. Gabrielle Petit and Cecile Wetherington next week, 2 random questions. So 12 times 2 equals 24%. So there's 50% of your midterm exam. Okay, here's the next 24%. And then, finally, then there will be 5 times 5% questions on the Imitation Game and In the Name of the Father movies. These will be worth 25%. Okay, so let's have a look so you understand very early what will happen in the midterm exam. The quizzes. There are 10 times 5 questions equals 50%. These are the questions from weeks 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 that you already do and you send me every week. Quizzes, 10 times 5 questions equals 50% multiple choice, A, B, C or D questions, okay? So, for example, which country is Jamie from? A, England, B, Scotland, C, Wales, D, Ireland. And the answer is A, England, okay? So there's going to be quizzes, 10 times 5 questions equals multiple choice, 50% multiple choice, A, B, C and D questions. Then, female heroines, A, B, C, D questions, again, 12 times 2% equals 24%. Then there will be A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D movies. So the A, B, C, D, 25%. Okay, so name and student number at the top is 1%. Okay, I will give you 1% for remembering your name and student number when you do the test. So 50 plus 24 plus 25 plus 1 equals 100%. The midterm exam is worth 25% of your final grade. That is going to be the midterm exam. Okay, so we're now moving on to the A to Z of British cultural characteristics. So, okay students, look at the following pictures and what do you think they are showing? So we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, and finally U, V, Y. Okay, there is no W or Z today. So what I want you to do is look at the following pictures and what do you think they are showing? So remember today the second part is the British cultural characteristics. So look at the following pictures and what do you think they are showing you? So A, we've got people fighting. What kind of people do you think these are? What kind of people are there? And B, I'll give you a hint. This is the name of the soldiers who guard Queen Elizabeth at Buckingham Palace. They have a certain name. What is their name? And then C, we've got the Christmas tree. Okay, so we've got a Christmas tree there. Why is the Christmas tree showing British cultural characteristics? Why do you think? D, here we've got a red bus, and on the red bus it's got the word London. What kind of bus or buses do they have in London? What kind of buses do they have in London? Then we're going to move on. We've got E, and I hope you know this answer by now. Who is the woman in the pink? And I'll give you a clue. She's a very rich and powerful woman. Obviously richer than me and obviously more powerful than me. Who is this woman? And her name begins with E. Now we move on to the F. So we've got somebody's probably lunch or dinner. And this is one of my favourite meals, and there's a lemon slice on the side with some sauce called tartar sauce. But what is the food? Okay, and it's one of the most popular and famous kind of foods in the UK, because obviously the UK is an island. So something to do with F. G. Have a look at the G. And the G is, there is the UK an island, but only part of it is in red. Why? Why is only the part of it in red? Why is that? What do you think? H, okay, so of course this is a hospital, and I can tell you that this is a picture of the Hull Royal Infirmary Hospital in Hull, which is my home city. But I know it's hospital, but what does the H mean? The answer is not hospital. Okay? What does the H mean? And I, okay, so the I, this is a difficult question. But if you look at the picture, these people are walking down a street in London, and they are all of different backgrounds, different ethnicities and different races. I, what does that mean? And then if we move on, we've got the J. Okay, why? Why have I included this in today's British cultural characteristics for J? What kind of food is that? Now we're going to move on. We've got a king. Okay, so who is this king? Oh, sorry, I've slipped up. Anyway, who is it? Okay, so I'll give you, the answer is king, but who is this king and why? He's a very famous king, and he had lots of wives. L is a famous building. Okay, it's very, very, very famous. And yeah, which city in England is it in, and what's its full name? M. Okay, so here we go. We've got some paper with the Queen on it. What is this used for, and what is its name when it's used in the UK? And it's quite powerful. N, let's have a look at the N. I can tell you that this is a woman, a very, very famous woman who will be covered in the British and Irish heroines in the second part. Okay, N, who is that woman? And now we go for the O. Okay, this is a famous building, very, very famous. Why is this a famous building? I promise you, you probably know the answer. You might not know the answer now, but when I tell you, you will be, Ginger. Yep, O. Where is that building? O. Moving on, we've got a P, okay, and I'm going to probably be introducing you to some British English here. They're often, I'll give you a clue, it's often called dessert in American English, but in British English it often begins with a P. So you've got lots of sweet, tasty food there. What kind? Why? I'm giving you a clue, it's a P. Okay, so the Q. Okay, so of course you probably know this answer now. Here is a famous building, and who lives in this building? And then R, which kind of weather is this, and why would I be including it? Why would I be including the R? Okay. The S, and please don't say soccer, okay, because the answer is not soccer. I promise you now. S. Yeah, please don't. The answer is not soccer, okay? Because soccer is American English. Please don't say that. What is that S showing? Tea. Very easy one. Okay, so we've got tea. Why would I be including that in today's British cultural characteristics? Why would I do that? Okay, and then the last three, we've got you, and yeah, so basically, what is the British for Usan, basically? We've got the U, and why would you need one of these in the UK? Then we've got a cartoon of a V. You probably already got this. Please, please, please know the answer to this. Here is your V. And then, let's go. The yellow map. The yellow map is a map of England, but the red begins with a Y. What is it? So let's just quickly go back. Here's your A, your B, your C, your D, the E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, Y. Okay, so have a go. Try to think what are the answers and try to do this and do it now, please. Okay, so let's have a go. So A, what is this? A is for Anglo-Saxon. Okay, so Anglo-Saxon, the original British, they are Anglo-Saxons and they was quite good fighters. And here is a picture of the Anglo-Saxon people. And the Anglo-Saxon people usually have white skin and blue eyes, usually. B, the next one. What is the name of the soldiers? They are called the Beef Eaters. They are called the Beef Eaters. And that is the name of the soldiers who guard the Queen. Okay, they're the Beef Eaters. And why they are called the Beef Eaters, I don't know. But it doesn't mean anything to do with eating beef, I don't think. C, okay, so obviously we've got the Christmas tree. Why would we have a Christmas tree showing British cultural characteristics? Well, the main religion in the UK is Christianity. And as you know, Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus at Christmas with Christmas Day, and they often have a Christmas tree. So here's your Christmas tree. D, what kind of bus is this? Well, it's not a single-decker bus, is it? It's not a single-decker bus. These are very famous buses in the UK, and because this is a double-decker bus. D is the double-decker bus. And this is the kind of transport you will find in many English cities. Okay? Well, many British cities, the double-decker bus. E, well, of course, you all know. E, that is Queen Elizabeth II. And Elizabeth is still the Queen today. She is still a very powerful and rich woman. And she is presently alive and living in Buckingham Palace. F. Okay, so F, as many of you know, F is today's fish and chips. Okay, so fish and chips. Fish and chips is probably the British cultural meal. If you think Korea and you think kimchi or bulgogi, then the UK just think fish and chips. And they are called chips because British English is chips, American English is fries. So please don't call them fries in the UK because maybe they wouldn't understand you. Absolutely delicious, absolutely one of my favourites, but now quite expensive and also unhealthy because it's fried. It's very fattening. G. Let's have a look at G. So G, remember only the parts in red are the answers, and you should remember this from previous weeks. Okay, so G, what is the G? Okay, so if you remember, G means Great Britain. So the G is the Great Britain, and there are 3 countries in that red part. There is England, Scotland and Wales. And please remember, England, Scotland, Wales is Great Britain, but when you include Northern Ireland, then it becomes the UK. So Great Britain is England, Scotland, Wales, and when it's England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, then it's the United Kingdom. And how do you remember the United Kingdom? Please remember, north, east, south, west, NESW, Northern Ireland, N, E, England, S, Scotland, W, Wales. So that's how you remember the United Kingdom, north, east, south, west, NESW, Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales. And the G is Great Britain. The grey is Ireland, and the white part of the map, that is probably France and maybe some parts of Belgium. Okay, that's how close the UK is to France. H. Now, H is not for, of course, hospital, but I want to explain this means health. Okay, so health, if you go to the UK, all health service is free. So if you go to a hospital, I don't know, Beyond One, I believe in Korean, and you have a broken leg, they will repair your broken leg for free. If you need, glasses, Angyeon, glasses, you can get your glasses free. In the UK, it's all free. And if you have toothache and you go to a dentist in Korean, Chigwa, I believe. So if you go to Beyond One, Angyeon or like Chigwa, it's all free in the UK. The health is all free, and that is a picture of the biggest hospital in my home city. That is a picture of the Hull Royal Infirmary. Okay, so I, as I told you, we discussed this last week. I means immigration. Okay, so after the Second World War, the UK needed people to help rebuild the country after the big war with Germany and Japan. So they invited other people from the Commonwealth, such as Pakistan, India, Jamaica, etc., to come live as permanent citizens in the UK. So if you go to the UK, you will see many people of different races and different ethnicities because of the immigration after the Second World War. The UK is a very, very, very cosmopolitan country. J, okay, so J, the UK, we like this kind of food. I think many people like this kind of food, okay, so J, it wobbles, it's easy to make, but it's not really good for your health, and it has probably too much sugar in it. J, what is the wobbly kind of food called? What is it? That is today's J, it's jelly. Okay, so J is for jelly. Now, K, as you know, the UK either has a king or a queen, and at the moment we have Queen Elizabeth II, but here is the K. Okay, this is a very, very, very famous king of England. Okay, this man wanted, right, as you know, the UK is now a Protestant country, but the UK used to be a Catholic country, and the main headquarters of Catholic is the Vatican City in Italy. And this man, King Henry VIII, King Henry VIII wanted to divorce his wife, and the Vatican City said, no, you can't, we don't give you permission. England, well, the UK is a Catholic country, and you must do as we tell you. So King Henry VIII just said, no, okay, I will now change the religion of the UK. The UK is now a Protestant country. That is why the UK is Protestant and not Catholic, because King Henry VIII wanted to get divorced. L, very, very, very famous building. Obviously, it's in London. And what kind of building is it? It's a bridge. Simple. A simple answer. London Bridge. Okay, and the London Bridge, there it is. This allowed people to get from North London to South London. And many people go across this bridge to do that. L, that is today's learn. The bridge is falling down. London Bridge, which actually has a small museum inside the towers, as well as other things. So if you ever go to London, go have a look at the London Bridge. Okay, so we've got MNOP, the M. Okay, so let's have a look. As you can see on this paper, that they are all images of a younger Queen Elizabeth II. So they have the Queen's head on all of them. It's the British money. Okay, this is money, and at the top the green is £5 note. The orange is the £10 note. The purple is the £20 note, and the red burgundy is the £50 note. So if you think like £5 is worth about 8,001, 10,000, well, kind of like £5 Manon, £10 E-Manon, £20 Saint Manon, and then £50 just like Ship Manon. Okay, roughly that is what it's called. An M, in the UK they use money called the pound. In Korea it's called the won, and most of Europe uses the euro, but the British and United Kingdom don't. They use the pound. N, who is this woman? N is a woman called Florence Nightingale. This is Florence Nightingale, and if you go to the UK, they often have a high quality of healthcare, just like Korea. And why do they have a high quality of healthcare? Because of this woman, Florence Nightingale. She made the British hospitals improve and has resulted in a lot better health service. A very famous British heroine, Nightingale, Florence Nightingale, and she will be appearing in the syllabus after the midterm exam. O, which building is this? Can you guess? So, O, which building? Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's one of the top 2 universities in the world. Last year, I believe number 1, and this place was number 2. Number 1, I think last year might have been... No, I think this was number 1 last year. The top university perhaps in the world, and one of the famous and one of the oldest, is Oxford University. Here is Oxford University, a very, very, very famous and high-level university from the UK. P, perhaps introducing you to some British English here. So we've got P, and P, this is pudding. Okay, so American English, they often call it dessert, but here is the P, pudding. Okay, and they have some... Sorry about this, I can't control when people will cacao me. Okay, so P is the pudding. These are beautiful kind of meals that we eat after our lunch. Okay, so I've given you 9 different puddings there, and I've probably eaten all of them in my lifetime. P, pudding, which is kind of British English for dessert. Okay, so nearly finished. We've got the queue. Okay, so as you know, at the front is the Beefeaters, the soldiers, and you've got Buckingham Palace. And then in the middle, if you look carefully, you have white or grey horses with somebody in a golden chariot. What is the name of the woman who gets taken places in a golden chariot? Who is that? Well, of course, it's the Queen Elizabeth II. R, as you know, you probably know, the UK. In the UK, it rains a lot. It drives people crazy. R is for rain, so if you ever go to the UK, just remember that R is for rain, and you must take an umbrella, because I think it probably rains about 30 or 40% of the days in the UK. Maybe more, I don't know. It rains a lot. S. Okay, so S, the answer is obviously not soccer, it's sport. The answer for S is sport. And please understand that the most famous sport in the UK is football. Football was actually invented in England, and it's called football. It is not called soccer. That is American English, okay? So football was created, invented in England, and please, its name is football. Tea, okay? So as many of you probably already know, the UK, in Korea, most people probably drink coffee, but in the UK, most people drink tea, okay? They like to drink tea because lots and lots and lots of tea comes from India, and India is a former colony of the UK. So when the British colonised India, they found all this tea and they took the tea back to the UK to drink, and that's why the UK, they like to drink tea. Moving on. U, so obviously it rains a lot, okay? It rains a lot in the UK, so please, if you do go to the UK, please take your umbrella, okay? V, the simple one. We've been doing about this woman today, Victoria. V is for Victoria, and she is a very famous English queen, and the UK was a very, very, very powerful country during her era. V, Victoria. Y, and you should remember this, a very kind professor comes from this area. Y is for Yorkshire. This is where I come from. This is the area of England called Yorkshire. And if you think in Korea, they have doors, Gyeonggi-do, Chollonam-do, Chollabuk-do, places like Gangwon-do. And in the England, they have shires. And I'm from Yorkshire. Okay, and Yorkshire is the biggest county in England. So quickly, just a quick one. You do not need to remember these answers. These answers are not in any quiz. A, Anglo-Saxon. B, beef eaters. C, Christmas tree. D, double-decker bus. E, Elizabeth. F, fish and chips. G, Great Britain. H, health. I, immigration. J, jelly. K, King Henry VIII. L, London Bridge. M, money. N, Nightingale. O, Oxford. P, pudding. Q, Queen Elizabeth II. R, rain. S, sport. T, tea. U, umbrella. V, Victoria. Why Yorkshire? Okay, so just one last time. Quickly, the Anglo-Saxons, the original British, which is why many of the British are originally white with blue eyes. B, the beef eaters, the people who guard Queen Elizabeth. C, Christmas tree, to show that the UK is a Christian country. D, double-decker buses, to show the kind of buses that they have in the UK. E, Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II is the present Queen of England. F, fish and chips, the kind of national food of the UK, just like kimchi is in Korea. G is Great Britain, remembering that Great Britain is England, Scotland, Wales. H, health. The health is free because of a thing called the NHS. The NHS is the national health system. I, immigration, because the UK is a very cosmopolitan country. J, which is jelly, because we like to eat puddings. K, King Henry VIII, which I've used him to show why the UK is now a Protestant country and not a Catholic country. L, which is London Bridge, which is a famous bridge in London. M, which is showing money, which means the money is the pound, and I've shown you 5, 10, 20 and 50 pound notes. N, which is Florence Nightingale, Nightingale to show a very famous British woman who is responsible for the UK having a very high level of health. O, Oxford University, very, very famous and high level university. P, which is the puddings, which shows, what we like to eat usually after lunch. Q is showing Queen Elizabeth being taken in her golden carriage from Buckingham Palace with the beef eaters in front. R is showing rain, which is why I'm telling you, please beware. Take an umbrella, Usan, with you if you go to the UK. S is showing sports, showing somebody playing football, because football is originally from England and we are very proud of that. T is somebody drinking a cup of tea. U is the umbrella. So please remember, it often rains in the UK, so you need to take an umbrella with you. V, very famous British lady, and we've discussed her today, is Victoria. Y is Yorkshire, which is the largest county in England, and I am from Yorkshire. I am a Yorkshireman. Okay, so now this is very, very, very important, and here is the part that you please must now understand. Okay, so students, the quiz will appear online on the LMS system on the 13th of April at 11 a.m. Please answer the questions in no more than 5 words, or I will mark it incorrect. And send your answers back to the LMS system before 12 p.m. Monday the 13th of April. This link has been posted early, like all of our PPTs, to help you. The quiz must be submitted to get your 1 attendance point and 1 quiz point for the 5th week and all future quizzes. Okay, so now, I am not going to be posting PPTs anymore. Because I want to be rewarding hard workers in the midterm exams, and here we go. So, students, the quiz will appear online on the LMS system on the 13th of April at 11 a.m. Please answer the questions in no more than 5 words, or I will mark it incorrect, which means and send your answers back to the LMS system before 12 p.m. Monday the 13th of April. So you have one hour. And as you know, the class, British Culture, is Monday 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So this is, I can do this. The link has been posted early like all other PPTs to help you. The quiz must be submitted to get your 1 attendance point. If you don't submit the quiz, I will mark you absent. And 1 quiz point for the 5th week and all future quizzes. Please understand the exams are now online, so I'm forgetting about helping you all. It's time to get ready for the exams, and I want people who work hard to be getting the A grades in this class, and this is how I'm doing it. And if you don't understand any of that, I have put the Korean here for you, so please have a good look at that Korean, because it's really, really, really important that you understand. And I hope you understand why I have done it. Okay, everybody, so that is the end of this week, and I really look forward to hopefully seeing you all one day. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying the British Culture. Please remember today's A to Z quiz, i.e. Anglo-Saxons, Beefeaters, Christmas, is not part of any quiz. It was just for fun. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Kind regards. Look after yourself. Jamie.